Wolves and women have been tarred with the same brush. They're supposed to be cunning and treacherous and untrustworthy. But the aspect of the wolf that the wild woman relies on is the idea of freedom, the idea of being unspoiled and having rhythms that are uninterrupted by overdoses of the intellect. So, bone by bone and hair by hair, through night dreams, through events half understood and half remembered, the wild woman comes back. And she comes back through stories. You see, it's told that there's a place in the desert where the spirit of women and the spirit of wolves meet across time. The Spanish land-grant farmers and the Pueblo people of the Southwest tell stories about the bone people, the old ones who bring the dead back to life. They are said to restore both humans and animals. So here is the story of La Loba. There's an old woman who lives in a hidden place that everyone knows but few have ever seen. And as in the fairy tales of Eastern Europe, she seems to wait for lost or wandering people and seekers to come to her place. She is circumspect, often hairy, always fat, and especially wishes to evade most company. She's both a crower and a cackler, generally having more animal sounds than human ones, and she's called by many names. La Huesera, bone woman, La Trapera, the gatherer, and La Loba, the wolf woman. Now the sole work of La Loba is the collecting of bones. She is known to collect and preserve especially that which is in danger of being lost to the world, and her cave is filled with the bones of all manner of desert creatures: deer, rattlesnakes, crow. But her specialty is said to be wolves. She creeps and crawls and sifts through the montañas and the arroyos, the dry riverbeds, looking for wolf bones. And when she has assembled an entire skeleton, when the last bone is in place, the last one, often the tail bone at the very end, or one of the paw bones, when this beautiful white sculpture of the creature is laid out before her, she sits by the fire and contemplates which song she will sing. And when she's certain, she stands over the criatura, over the creature, and she raises her arms over it and sings out. And that is when the rib bones and the leg bones of the wolf begin to flesh out and the creature becomes furred. And La Loba puts her arms again over the creature and sings some more. And more of the creature comes into being. Its tail curls upward, shaggy and strong, and La Loba sings more, and the wolf creature begins to breathe. And still, La Loba sings so deeply that the floor of the desert shakes, and as she sings, the wolf opens its eyes and leaps up and runs away down the canyon. And somewhere in its running, whether by the speed of its running, or by splashing its way into a river, or by way of a ray of sunlight or moonlight hitting it right in the side, the wolf is suddenly transformed into a laughing woman with long red and black and silver and yellow hair, who runs free toward the horizon. And so it is said that if you wander the desert, and it is near sundown, and if perhaps you are a little bit lost and certainly tired, that you are lucky, for la loba may take a liking to you and show you something of the soul. The bones in this story are considered in archetypal psychology the indestructible force. The one thing we think might be indestructible is the human soul and spirit. You really cannot kill them. Oh, you may injure them or you may bend them. You can shape them, you can maul them, but you really, really cannot kill them. So the bones in this story represent the indestructible aspect of ourselves, because the bones are wolf bones, that which is wolf-like, that goes back to the animal self of woman, the self that is connected to freedom, the self that is unspoiled by the rigors and requirements of a quote-unquote civilized culture. Within us is the old one, la que sabe, the one who knows. She collects the bones. And within us, there is the soul. Within us is the potential to be fleshed out again as the creatures we are. And I love the end of this story, because we are not meant to walk around as animals, with long claws and our hair hanging in our faces, or anything like that. We are human females. But the story shows that the animal is within the woman. The desert represents the place where we all start. We all start as a bundle of bones, lost somewhere in a desert, a shattered skeleton that lies under the sand. And we need to recover each and every part. As the story tells, you cannot put yourself together again until you have all the parts lined up. And that's why people do meditation. That's why people do psychotherapy, and that's why people do psychoanalysis, and that's why people analyze their dreams, and that's why they read tarot cards, and that's why people create with their hands and do their crafts and do their dance, and that people do all the things that they do. The reason is they are trying to gather all the skeletal parts together so that they can sing over them. Singing is an incredibly powerful idea. It is the voice of the spirit. Talking is the voice of the human. Singing is the voice of the spirit, soul, psyche. Od la que sabe, la loba. The old woman sings over the bones, and as she sings over them, they become fleshed out. And as we pour soul over the bones of what we used to be, it revivifies us. It brings everything back in our memories of what we were and what we can be today.